demonstrate our first requirement that a user must be able to create an account. So we'll go to the register page. They must be able to create it with an email. We've already created the test account that was listed on the site. So I will go ahead and create a new account here. So we'll also call this one test. And this will be test@example.edu. Next, we have full name. And then we're going to go with a password. So I'll demonstrate each of the password blocks here. So first, if I just type in password, all lowercase, you will see that although it is enough letters, because we have a 10-letter requirement, there are no uppercase letters. And if I go ahead and make it too short, it adds that as well. So let's go ahead and put in that uppercase letter with a number. So this says password 1. Now it's saying the password is not strong enough. We used a classic strength definition with having a specialized character in there. So we'll go ahead and change this to password @1. And we were able to register. And now I'll show you that we can log in using this registration. And it took us to our page. Once you have an account made, so this account's already made with my name, if I go ahead and try and do this again, I can't do it because it looks like I am already in the database. Being able to change account information. So I'm going to go ahead on our account page and click Update Account Information. You may have seen on the last page that the email here is presently, I'll go back and show it again, example2@test.edu, but the one that is in the GitHub is example@test.edu. So I'll go ahead and change that back. When I say confirm change, it logs us out, as now the email is a different user. If I go ahead and log in using the account information that was on the Git, we are now available, and you can see this has changed from example2 to just example. On the name side of it, go ahead and change that. Test name 2. Details page again. As you can see, the requirement for multiple devices has been met. I have not been able to remove a device, but you can add a device. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll say, this is brand new device. I go ahead and click register. I now have brand new device, and it gives me a new API key to access. And here are all the devices that we've created for testing with this account. Okay, so the particle board right now is in the wait phase, as you can see there. So none of the lights are on. If I go ahead and I start it to send it into the start activity phase, you can see that that green light turns on, indicating that you have begun an activity. Since we're not moving because the GPS is not connected right now, in a moment here we should end up being pushed into the pause activity section. It's just going to take some time as that timer works itself out. So I will probably cut a little time here so you don't have to wait for that. Oh, and because our threshold is set very low in the system right now, you can see that blue blinking light turned on, letting us know that we've reached our UV threshold, and now our green light turned to yellow because we were not moving for a long time, so it is in pause activity mode now. Now if I go ahead and I hit that button, it turns that off and sends the data and sends us back to wait mode, and those are all of the onboard lights indicating activity statuses. Was visible in the actual physical one as far as the LEDs and the buttons. I just wanted to make sure we had all of our bases covered with these IoT requirements. You can see here's the day definition, the 30-second pause definition, and the 15-second activity record definition in the IoT code for the particle. And if you look down here past our setup and loop, we have our state machine. You can see the onboard LED is off during that wait phase, turned on during the start activity. During the start activity, we have our pause counter that is waiting for the speed to be 0 for that 30-second threshold before it moves into a pause activity phase. And then below that, we have our activity counter that every 15 seconds goes through and does a new recording of the activity information. Here's where you can see that the pause color changed as you saw in the video. And down in the send data, we turn the RGB back off because it is no longer in an active state. We're waiting for the Wi-Fi to turn on. If that is successful, it'll go back into the wait state. And here's where we actually perform that send after it formats the JSON document. Everything that is sent to our database. And then the actual sending itself. Here's where it is erased if it has been in the board for 1 day without a connection to the internet. And then below here is where it is also erased if a new activity is started. This will send it into the wait state. This will send it into the start activity state. Item here was the API key that is required by the server. So this is the webhook information here with our endpoint that it actually interacts with in the photon route. So down here, we have the device ID provided by the photon, the API key that was provided by the website that is hard-coded into the webhook as we were instructed to do. And then this returns to me the UV threshold from the website. Back on the account page for SunRunr, you can see the UV threshold here is set. Right now we had given it a default of 10, but that's pretty low compared to what's coming in. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll set it at 250 and confirm the change, and you can see it's updated there. So from our accounts detail page, we can go up here and check out our weather. So if we go into summary, it'll load the forecast for the next 4 days. So December 20th through 24th as far as from tomorrow. And we are looking at ultraviolet radiation and temperature for those days. Routes for photon, you can see how we're handling the speed input here. So this is where it splits it up into the walking, running, or biking as stated by the requirements based on the speed parameters that are listed here. Script code, under activity.js, you can see where we used the token authentication as is the last requirement in the server. So here we have requiring the token through the AJAX code for each of the activity summary infos anytime that you request information from the site itself.